Welcome to today's episode of Sassy Detectives. We're your hosts,
Tori
and Rae. We are here to talk about anything and everything Nancy Drew, and today we'll be talking about, well, it's actually a Q&A episode. Roll the intro.
So a Q&A, because it's our anniversary!
Yeah, very happy. It's been the year. It's been very cool. We've gotten to yap so much about Nancy Drew, which honestly was extremely needed.
True.
Arson! Don't bite that. Sorry, my cat. Yeah.
So tell Sonny that he needs to let us record so that, because we have to talk about his namesake. Well, one of his namesakes.
Yeah. Sonny, we've got to record. Oh, do you want to have a special moment in the microphone? Do you want to sniff? He just grabbed the microphone.
He just went bonk.
Yeah. And now he flipped out of my arms. Literally flipped, because he's a cat. Anyway. Shall we get to it?
So we asked you guys, listeners, to send us Q&A questions. So I compiled them, and I'm just going to read them off, and we'll answer them. How does that sound?
Yeah, it sounds fine.
Okay. Are you ready?
Yes.
The first question is, what was the first job you two ever had?
Ooh. Shall I go first, or
yeah,
do you
can
want
go
to?
First.
Okay, my first ever official job was I was an assistant at a children's theater day camp. I was like 16, and I had a lot of fun doing it.
Okay.
So that's my first ever job, official.
My first ever job was working at a hotel, and it was the summer I was 16, and I think I worked like one shift a week, and then I stayed there for 11 and a half years.
Oh!
Yeah. So that
Rip
was my
the
first
hotel
job.
business. Yeah, you've told me a lot about the hotel business, and I do not wish it upon anyone, I guess.
Yeah.
Actually, I do wish it upon some people who hate me, and I feel like it would do good for them to endure an environment like that.
Yeah, it was a time of my life. There are parts of it that I do miss, and that were good and fun. But then there are other parts that I don't miss at all. So,
yeah.
Any business that
Sonny.
is open 24/7, 365 days a year is a difficult one.
Yeah. That kind of sucks.
Okay. Next question. What is your favorite pastime?
Oh, see, that's a hard one. You can go first, and I will keep thinking.
Okay. I mean, I really like to stream on Twitch when I find the time, and I also really like to read. Those are both things that I wish I still had more time to do. But I would say those are probably like top two for me.
I think mine, at the moment, I do really like playing video games, but at the moment, I feel like spending time with my cats is probably my favorite thing.
Yeah.
Because, well, cats are extremely entertaining, and I've got my new baby here, little Sonny, and let me tell you, there's never... Oh my goodness. Sorry, he just zoomed out of under my bed across the room. So, as I was saying, there's never a dull moment with cats, and they're very entertaining, and he just disappeared. I do not know where he is now, but we will eventually find out. But, probably video games and my cat, and writing. I also like writing, which I need to get back to doing.
Yeah. Okay, next question. Which of Nancy's characteristics do you resonate with the most?
No, this is a funny... Okay. Have I talked about autism here before? I don't know, but I have autism, and so I will say a lot of social cues are not very easy for me, and I don't always follow them correctly. And you know who else does that to an extreme, a bad one? Nancy!
As far as I know, you've never asked anybody about their dead mom, so.
No, I have not. However, I do feel like the accidental insensitive questions from Nancy might be a tad relatable for me.
Oh.
That and the need to figure out stuff in snooping, which probably isn't the best thing to admit to on a podcast. But I play Nancy Drew, so at least I don't steal stuff like Nancy does, and then say, "Oh, I'm borrowing it for a case," and then never return it.
For me, I would say Nancy's characteristic of wanting to do everything herself and not being very good at like delegating tasks to other people. That's something that I definitely see in myself.
Yeah.
It's probably not
a tough one as
the
well.
best one, but I do that.
You know,
too.
we should. Okay, let's choose another aspect, like a more positive aspect of Nancy, okay? Because we're just saying the negative ones right now.
I think Nancy's determination to find a solution.
I was gonna say that for me too.
Yeah.
Because like I will not rest, unfortunately. Unfortunately for me, and also unfortunately for other people. But yeah.
Yeah, I think just the determination to like get it done is something that I definitely relate to.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Listen, Nancy is, oh my goodness, Sunny. Nancy is one of those characters where she's just like, she has so much determination to where like you will tell her, hey, maybe you shouldn't do this, and she'll be like, okay, I will do it. And you know what? That is a really good thing when it comes to solving mysteries. Sometimes it's not a great thing with interpersonal stuff, but with her talent in solving mysteries, I think she's really cool with that.
Yeah. Okay. Next question. How did you receive your first Nancy Drew book?
Ooh. So I got... Yes, I do remember very vividly. My memories of my childhood are either not there at all or extremely vivid. And my childhood memories of Nancy Drew are extremely vivid. I was like 5 years old when I read my first Nancy Drew book, but my mom had a bunch of like the antique ones from the 60s, or the vintage ones, or whatever they're called, from the 60s, and she had Secret of the Old Clock, The Hidden Staircase, and The Bungalow Mystery, the first three. And so I was super excited to read them. Because I started reading like really young. Whole Nancy Drew books by the age of 5 on my own, which was a bit more than some of the other kids I knew, which concerned their parents. But I saw the cover of Nancy Drew and I was like, oh, she looks so cool, and she has strawberry blonde hair like me, and she solves mysteries. And I needed to read that book, and so I did, and I became obsessed. And then I kept reading them, and I did not stop. So it was the first book in the series, which isn't exactly, like, I don't know if that's common for a lot of Nancy Drew fans, since there's like hundreds of books. But yeah, I did like to start at the beginning of the series with most of the stuff I read as a kid, so.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's actually funny because my story is kind of similar. So I remember I was at like, I was probably about 6 or maybe not quite 6. But we were at like something like Costco or Sam's Club, or like a store like that where you like buy things, in big quantities. And there was a box set of the first 5 Nancy Drew books. And I remember my mom picking it up and being like, I need to get this for you. And I was like, okay, I liked reading. I was a studious kid, I guess you could say. And she picked it up and we brought it home and I started the first book. I started Secret of the Old Clock, and I really liked it. And there were a few parts that I kind of thought were like a little scary for me when I was that young. But when I got to those parts, I think I had my mom read them to me when I felt like I was getting scared.
Yeah.
And so she would read them to me and then give me the book back when I was like, okay, we're in the clear. There's not that much
Okay, we're
danger.
good now. Yeah.
Yeah. So that was how I read my first Nancy Drew book.
Yeah, I also remember the second Nancy Drew book I read was The Hidden Staircase, and that traumatized me at the age of 5.
Oh gosh.
Because, like, the creepy violin music, the faces at the window, the chandelier moving above them and everything, the creepy everything, and I was like, oh my god, this is the scariest thing I've ever read! And I will say, it's probably not the best thing for a 5-year-old to read that, without a parent.
I remember the Lilac
parent
Inn
to be
scaring
like,
me
"It's
a lot
okay."
when I was a kid.
Oh, yeah, that's another fun.
Okay, are we ready for the next
Nancy
question?
Drew, amazing. Yes.
Okay. Do you prefer reading or gaming, Nancy Drew?
Gaming, I will say.
Yeah, I agree. I love Nancy Drew, and I have been reading longer than I have been gaming Nancy Drew. But I think
Me too, yeah.
I think the games are what really solidified me as a fan of Nancy Drew, and I think increased my appreciation for the books.
Yeah. For me, I was just a huge fan of the books since I was 5 and I first read them. And I didn't even know the games were a thing until I was 7. And I was, like, fully into autistic special interest mode with Nancy Drew by then. But I was fully obsessed with the books. Like, reading as many as I could get my hands on.
Yeah.
And then I found out about the games, and I was like, oh, wait, there's games? And so I started playing them with my childhood friend, and we never actually finished a game. And so I didn't get, like, super attached to the games until I was, like, 13, I think. And I finished my first game by myself, which was Curse of Blackmore Manor. And so I didn't really get that attached to them until then. But then, like, as an adult, the reading style of them, if that makes sense, gets a bit young for you.
Yeah.
But the games themselves, they do hold up, for me at least. They hold up a lot. And it's probably also nostalgia. But I can also overlook some of the cringy stuff in the games. But sometimes the writing in the books can be a little, okay, that's a little bit too 1930s for me.
Yeah.
But, and I just feel like the games are also more immersive.
For sure.
Which, they're very fun. They're very good. I like them a lot. And, like, if I didn't like them, we wouldn't have this podcast. So, like, I'm literally looking at my collection of Nancy Drew stuff right now. So, I've got a bit of stuff. I've got quite a bit. Yep.
Okay. So next question is, if you could have Nancy answer one question, what would it be?
Thought with this was, how did your mom die?
Oh.
That's my actual answer yet, but that was my first thought.
Oh. Rip.
I mean, she kind of deserves it. I don't know.
Oh, rip.
Because, but seriously, serious question. How are you going to support yourself as an adult without your dad? That's my question. Because my girl is traveling the entire world with no money! She has no money! Girl!
I would ask Nancy,
Yeah.
I would ask Nancy, of all your past cases, which suspect sticks in your mind the most or is the most memorable?
It's definitely not Dwayne Powers. So, because she did
Yeah.
not even remember his name.
Yeah.
I would say poor guy, but he is I don't have any sympathy for him, but
That's fair. Okay, next one. Which media adaptation is your favorite?
the games.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like them. Like the movies are good and the TV shows are good, but the games are where it's at, baby, and not the DS games. Not the DS games.
I liked Treasure on the Tracks.
Those I haven't played that one yet.
Oh,
And
really?
I don't really consider that one Nancy Drew. It's
I
more
mean,
of,
it is a Hardy
you
Boys
know,
game, but it's made by
yeah.
Her Interactive.
Yeah, it's Nancy Drew adjacent.
Yeah.
But I remember having this one DS game for my DSi as a kid. And oh my god, Sunny. Anyway, so I had this one game and I was like, oh, it's a Nancy Drew game because it was in the used DS games at GameStop, and so I got it for like $5. And I was super excited to get it and play it, and I was like, this is not at all like the ones that I know.
Yeah.
And it was dumb, and it was just like hidden pictures and no actual investigating or really talking to people.
Yep.
And I was like,
Is that the Hidden
no!
Staircase?
What?
Are you talking about the Hidden Staircase game?
No, it was like, let me see if I can find it.
Was it the Cluebender
Nancy
Society?
Drew DS. No. It was like the Model Mystery or something.
Oh, yes. I've played that one too.
Yeah, and I hated it. It was lame.
It's very, very lame.
And I was like, yeah, Model Mysteries. And I was like, girl, you could do so much better than this. But maybe one of these days I'll get a another DS and I'll get these games again and play them.
Okay, I have to agree. I think the games are the best media adaptation, but I also really have a soft spot for the 2007 Nancy Drew movie.
I also love that one. I love it so much.
Yeah. Okay, next question. Did Nancy influence some of your characteristics?
Absolutely.
Which ones would you say?
So many. I think like a lot of my adventurous nature, like as a kid, I was already an adventurous kid. I liked to just, explore stuff, and but I feel like I used to pretend a lot as a kid. Usually it was like Disney princesses and stuff, or it was Nancy Drew. Because I loved Nancy Drew. I would get out a little jacket to pretend it was like a trench coat for a detective. I would get out a magnifying glass, and I would, pretend to be Nancy Drew, solving mysteries everywhere. And Nancy Drew just kind of like influenced so much about my personality just growing up. Because I also, being autistic, I didn't have a lot of like my own personality. I did a lot of like learning from other people and also characters from books and movies and stuff.
Yeah.
And so one of those characters that I kind of latched onto was Nancy. And I'm glad I latched onto the book Nancy mostly instead of the games Nancy, because can you imagine a 7-year-old going around asking people how their mom died? Alas. Or stealing stuff. But I'm not sure. I'm pretty sure I had a better moral compass than Nancy at that age, so.
Yeah. I think Nancy influenced kind of this idea in me that like you should, if you don't understand something, you should ask questions until you understand.
Yeah, that's a big one, yeah.
And I think that that was really formative for me when I was younger, is kind of like, instead of just being like, oh, okay, well, that's the way it is. Like, if I didn't understand why it was that way, there's no, like, shame in asking questions to try to get a better understanding or to understand somebody else's perspective if it was different than mine. So I think that's a characteristic of Nancy that definitely influenced me.
Yeah, that, and I also think just the thirst for knowledge and the thirst for the truth. Because, Nancy always had to get to the bottom of the case and find the actual truth to whatever happened. And
Right.
that was super influential to me as well as a kid. Because, I don't know, it's cool.
Okay, next question. What is your least favorite puzzle out of all the puzzles in the series?
Does Barnacle Blast count?
Yes.
I hate Barnacle Blast!
I thought about this question for a little bit, and I feel like it's really hard for me to like settle on one answer.
Yeah, me too. I have another one.
Go ahead.
The Phantom of Venice puzzle, where you're in the cat suit and you're,
Stealing the
avoiding
sapphire?
evil Roombas. Yes! I hate that one! That is the only time I've ever rage quit a game. I have had days where I've been way too stressed and I've played that game and I started screaming because I hate the evil Roombas.
Yeah.
I hate them.
I remember we talked about that in length when we had our Phantom of Venice episode.
And I could go on.
Yeah.
Alright, your turn.
I would say almost every puzzle in Ransom of the Seven Ships, for one.
Ooh. Wait,
Sorry.
also, I also have to add on that last puzzle from Ransom of the Seven Ships, the Hourglass one.
I think the keyhole one is worse.
That one's also bad. But
They're all bad. That's why I said almost every puzzle in Ransom of the Seven Ships. I also don't love the puzzle in The Deadly Device where the Tesla coil is like on the verge of shocking someone. I don't want to spoil. And you have to like flip all the switches off. And it's like timed and I find it so stressful.
I actually love that one, but it just goes to prove that, all Nancy Drew friends are different and we all like different puzzles.
Yeah.
Except for the Hourglass puzzle. I've never met anybody who likes the Hourglass puzzle.
Yeah. Well, maybe not. I was going to say the like moving rooms in Curse of Blackmore Manor, but I understand them now. So
yeah, when you first get to them, it's like, what?
Yeah, for a first-time player, I'd say it's probably among one of the worst puzzles, but I think once you like understand the rooms and how they move, they're not that bad.
And when you also get the little cheat from the journal where he's like, "Hey, here's a clue on how to get here easily and not be in there for 4 hours."
True.
Because that was very helpful to me as a kid.
Is there any others that I just really do not like?
I think going over like my least favorite puzzles from each of the games.
I
know I don't like do you know the wooden maze one with the magnet in Shadow Ranch?
Yeah, do you know the cheat for that though?
I do know the cheat for that. I just hate touching the edges of it and then it falls down and I have to start over again.
Yeah, it's like a game of Operation.
Yeah, and I don't like.
I also think that the Tomb of the Lost Queen has some really difficult puzzles. I like that game, but I think that number one, there's the puzzle toward the end. It's like the next to last puzzle. I actually think the last two puzzles are really frustrating for me. So the next to last puzzle is when you have like the ledge that comes out and you have to like spin the dial and choose the correct head. And if you get it right, the next thing opens. But if you get it wrong, it like slides in. And I think the resources that you use to like choose the correct ones are really vague. So that puzzle in Tomb of the Lost Queen, and then the final puzzle where you have to like spin the platforms to make like the color connecting bridges. And I find that one really frustrating too.
Yeah, that one, I actually really like that one. I think it's fun. And also the other one, I think it's fun. But, like, as I said earlier, it goes to show we're all different. We all like different puzzles, except for the Hourglass one.
True. So maybe we could say, collectively, the answer for us for what is our least favorite puzzle out of all the puzzles is the Hourglass puzzle in Ransom of the Seven Ships.
Yeah. Because, like, the other puzzles, they're also bad, but the Hourglass one is timed.
So, okay, next question. This was sent to us by an account that claims to be Ned Nickerson, by the way.
Ned.
And the question was, do you think I should be, I being Ned, an in-person character in a game?
I would love that, but at the same time, I think it would be funny if he was just on the phone with Nancy, never actually doing anything with her, just have, like, supposedly having a life outside of Nancy. But I did love how in Mystery of the Seven Keys, as soon as Nancy texts him, he immediately responds. Um,
Yeah.
which to me is so funny. Because he literally is just sitting on his bed waiting for Nancy to text him so he can text back. Kicking his feet in the air and everything.
I just genuinely don't understand why they didn't make him an in-person character in Alibi and Ashes.
Yeah,
Why do we get an in-person character for Bess and for George, but we don't for Ned?
Yeah.
It makes no sense to me.
And where is he? I mean, I know he's driving somewhere and doing stuff, but at the same time, like, we couldn't even see him at all, ever!
Yeah, it's
We've
very
seen
weird.
Nancy more than we've seen Ned.
Anyway.
But at least we do know what his face looks like. But yes, Ned, we would, at least I... What about you, Tori? Would you like to see
Yes,
him?
of course I want Ned as an in-person character.
Yay! Okay, yes, we do like you, Ned, and we do want you as an in-person character.
Okay. Next question. For Nancy Drew fans, what other games or books would we recommend for them to check out?
Ace Attorney!
Yeah, I think that's a great choice. I think if you're a Nancy Drew fan, you would definitely like the Ace Attorney series. I've only played 2 of the games. I think you've played 3 or more?
I have played Phoenix Wright Ace Attorney. I have played Phoenix Wright.
You played Justice for All.
Justice for All, Phoenix Wright
And Trials and
Tribulations, and then I played all of Ace Attorney. Apollo Justice Ace Attorney, and now I think it's Dual Destinies. Let me see, Dual Destinies that I'm on. Yeah, I'm pretty sure I'm on Dual Destinies. Yeah. And I would say those games are so good for Nancy Drew fans because you get to, like, look for clues and you get to talk to people and everything. And you also get a very judgmental protagonist. So there you go.
Yeah.
Because I know Nancy is always like, oh, I'm so nice to everybody. And then she says something and it's like, damn, Nancy, why did you have to say that? and you're in the head of Phoenix Wright during, like, all of the game. And except for Apollo Justice games. But it's so funny because he is so judgmental and rude inside his head. And if you're looking for another sassy, funny protagonist, Phoenix Wright.
I also think a nice thing about the Ace Attorney series is that it does require you to, like, solve puzzles and do critical thinking. So while it's not exactly the same as a Nancy Drew game, I think a lot of the skills that you use to get through a Nancy Drew game, you would apply in the same way.
Yeah. Yeah, and they also have some great stories, so yeah.
Yeah, great characters. What I would recommend is a series of detective mystery games developed by SFB Games, which is a little indie company called the Detective Grimoire series. Have you ever played any of those?
No, I'm looking it up. The Detective Grimoire.
So, Detective Grimoire started out as a Flash game in 2007, but they really took off with their 2014 game, which is called Detective Grimoire Secret of the Swamp, and it was on Steam. It still is. And that was the first one I played.
Steam. Yeah, it's on Steam. I'm adding it to my wish list.
Yeah, and then, but the sequel to that is called Tangle Tower, and it's probably in my top 10 video games of all time.
Dang.
Yeah, so Tangle Tower came out in 2019. It's the sequel to it. It's also on Steam. It is absolutely brilliant. I think the art style, characters, voice acting, puzzles, Soundtrack, by the way, I have the soundtrack saved into my Spotify. That's how much I love the Tangle Tower soundtrack.
Yeah.
Very, very delightful. And I'm really, really excited for they just announced a third game, which I guess it's technically the fourth game if you include the Flash game that everything started with. But for Steam, at least, it's like the third one. It's going to be out later this year, and it's called The Mermaid Mask. So I'm really excited for that to come out. But those are like they're murder mystery point and click adventure games. And they're just really, really fun. So yeah, you like collect evidence and then you present the evidence to the different characters and they will like tell you things and you can kind of piece stuff together. And then there's puzzles you have to do to reveal more evidence and blah, 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 blah. But the Detective Grimoire series is top tier.
Yeah, it sounds really fun. I'm trying to think of other games that I played that are Nancy Drew-ish. Because I mostly play, like, other, like, action games and stuff. Like, I recently finished Fallout 4, which is another fun game. I'm trying to think. The only other games that I play that have, like, little mysteries in them... Because I guess there are some, like, little mystery plots in other games I play, but I remember there was this whole mystery side quest DLC in Assassin's Creed Syndicate, which was really fun.
Oh, that's cool.
So if you like Assassin's Creed and Nancy Drew, get the Dreadful Crimes DLC because you get to solve mysteries and look for clues and ask people questions and stuff, which is super fun. Because you're also in Victorian England, so what gets better than that?
Oh, that's cool. As far as books go, any other good mystery series that you read?
Yes. Okay. I am a big fan of the works of Holly Jackson. She writes a lot of good YA thrillers. And I think her most famous one is A Good Girl's Guide to Murder. And that one's a really good.
Yeah, I bought that
really
back
in
the spring, and I have yet to read it, but it's sitting on my shelf.
Yeah. I know she also has, because A Good Girl's Guide to Murder is a trilogy, and it's really good. She also has, what is it? She has Five Survive, which is another really good one, and she also has, The Reappearance of Rachel Price, which I read in a single day, because I literally couldn't put it down.
Oh, that's cool.
It's so good. Yeah, I was the entire day, like, if I wasn't reading it on my ebook, I was listening to it as an audiobook because I could not get enough of it, and I had to do chores and stuff, and I'm like, no, I'm not taking a break from this book just to do the dishes. I'm listening to it on an audiobook. And it was great. It was an awesome book, and I highly recommend that one. So, trying to think of some other ones, because I like YA thrillers a lot. Let me see. There's one that I really... I read pretty recently. Where it is? Yes, I recently read a book called That's Not My Name by Megan Lally, and that was a pretty good one. I also like The Firekeeper's Daughter. That's another good one.
Okay.
Yeah, so just by Angeline Booley, I think that's how we pronounce it. I'm not good at pronouncing last names. I think it's a French last name. I'm not sure. I love your book though. What are some other ones? I can't think of any other YA thrillers right now. But you can always go for, like, the classics with Agatha Christie and stuff, because can't go wrong with Agatha Christie. She has a lot of amazing books. Dear old Poirot, we love that guy. God, I'm trying to think.
I'll recommend while you think.
Yeah.
I am a huge fan of Lemony Snicket and his two main series. So they're not exactly what I would call mysteries, but there is definitely a mystery subplot, and a lot of the overarching plot is revealed to you slowly, like piece by piece throughout the series. So I it's been adapted both into a movie with Jim Carrey and a series on Netflix with Neil Patrick Harris. Both are good. I enjoy them. I think they're good adaptations of the books, but if you want books, then the series Unfortunate Events is 13 books, and then his prequel series is called All the Wrong Questions, and that one is very good as well. So would big recommend those series for fans of Nancy Drew.
I think another one, like, for more kids would be the Mysterious Benedict Society, because that's also a mystery.
Oh, yeah.
And I loved that as a kid. I loved those books as a kid because of the mystery aspect and everything, and because, you know, there's a nice ensemble cast of quirky characters. And, you know, that is another one that's fun. That's a fun mystery for kids. So, yeah. I could probably come up with a lot more if I were not put on the spot.
That's okay. I think this is good. I think we answered the question well.
Yeah, we have a lot of books and video games and stuff. So, yeah.
Okay.
There
Next
we
question.
go. I'm doing a thumbs up right now.
Yeah. Adds thumbs up.
Yes.
Which Nancy Drew character did you want more of or thought deserved more attention in the game's story? I have an answer. Came to my head. I want more Alexei Markovic.
Yeah.
He's such an interesting character. I genuinely think he's one of the most interesting characters ever. And actually, thinking about Alibi and Ashes, I want to tack this on to the previous question of what's the worst puzzle. I hate the tunnels at the end of Alibi and Ashes. Anyway, that's neither here nor there.
Yeah. That too.
But Alexei Markovic is one of the most interesting characters, I think, in the series, and I would love to have more, like, Alexei time. Yeah,
me too. I don't think we're ever going to get it since the voice actor died, because they're probably going to have to get another voice actor for that. But I do love Alexei, and I do, because I love parallels in stories.
Yeah.
I love narrative parallels, and, you know, he has a story that very much so parallels Nancy. And, you know, he could have been her if his life hadn't been, like, uprooted and torn away from him and stuff. And, you know, as far as it goes with Nancy, she could have had the exact same thing happen to her if she didn't have the help that she had with her friends and her supporters.
Right.
Because he had nothing, but she had stuff, and, you know, it was interesting to see that dynamic with them. Another character I would love to see more of is Deirdre Shannon. I'm sure that's not a surprise to some of you. I love Deirdre as a character. I think she's an extremely, you know, interesting and complex character. Because, you know, the more we get to know about Deirdre during the games... Sunny, stop chewing. Sunny, get that out of your mouth. Sorry. The more we learn about her in the games, and the more we talk to her and hang out with her and get to know people around her, you know, the more we know her, and she's way deeper of a character than how, like, the books portray her to be. Which I love how they did that with the games, because she's such a good character in the games. I love her. Because she is really the girl who could have been Nancy Drew, and she knows that, and I think that's part of why she has such a resentment towards Nancy. And I would love to see more of, like, you know, I have such mixed feelings about Midnight in Salem because I love so many parts of it, but I also am like, ugh, so many parts of it as well. But one of the parts I loved was the dynamic between her and Nancy. I loved seeing them work together. And that was so cool, and I really want to do that for another game! I at least need her as another phone contact.
Yeah, I think Deirdre is a very interesting character too, because, and I'm sure we'll talk about it in depth more, like, when we, you know, continue with episodes, and we talk about, like, games where Deirdre is very present in. But I think that one thing that's really interesting about Deirdre is that she and Nancy truly are, like, foils to each other. Not enemies like Deirdre tries to pretend or claim, but I think they are very, like, they're just very different people, but I think they have like very similar goals.
They do, and it's so cool because like I would love to get to know Deirdre's like her whole thing with criminology and how she wants to get a degree and go into all that and everything as a career. Because she's doing it in a completely different way than Nancy is, and I want more Deirdre. Her interactive. Are you listening to me? Give me more Deirdre, please. I need more. Thank you.
Okay, next question. Besides Avatar: The Last Airbender, what are some of your favorite cartoons?
Ooh. Let me see if Arcane counts.
I think so. It's animated.
Is Arcane a cartoon? It's animated. I'll consider it. Yes,
Yeah.
Arcane. I recently watched Invincible, and that was pretty good. I didn't like it as much as I could have. Because I did feel like some things are a bit like okay, instead of great, but I did like it. I don't think I'll like any cartoon as much as I do Arcane, though. What other cartoons do I watch?
I really like Gravity Falls.
I need to finish that. I've seen like
I really
half of
liked
season
Gravity
1.
Falls.
I've seen half of season 1, and like that's it.
It's good. This second half of season 2 is brilliant, just brilliant. What are other cartoons that I like?
I mean, does Legend of Korra count? I guess.
Yeah. I do like animes. I'm a really big One Piece fan. I also really love Spy Family. And just finished Fruits Basket.
Yeah, you are much stronger than me because One Piece scares me.
Yeah. I didn't know how many episodes were in One Piece when I started, and then I got emotionally invested, and now I just keep going, so.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah. I'm trying to find out,
I knew there were a lot
cartoons.
of episodes of One Piece, but I don't think I understood the scope.
Yeah. I'm looking at other cartoon things, lists, and VeggieTales.
Oh, yeah.
A classic.
I also really loved DuckTales, the new DuckTales, because I was a 90s kid, so I grew up with the original series too, and I think the reboot series is actually better than the original series, which I almost never say about anything.
Dang! See, that's a good compliment coming from you, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think of other cartoons. I didn't really watch a ton of cartoons growing up. I mostly watched, like... Wait! Oh my gosh! What am I thinking? Star Wars! Oh my gosh! Why did I completely forget Star Wars?
How did you forget Star Wars?
I forgot Star Wars! That's like my favorite thing! Anyway, Clone Wars. That's really good.
Yeah.
Not the 2001 version. Let me see. Was it 2003 or 2001? 2003 Clone Wars. Yeah, it was. 2003. That one is special. I'll just say that. But the one that's, got like the wooden block inspired animation, the CGI stuff, that cartoon, that Clone Wars, mwah, perfection, amazing. I also liked Star Wars Rebels. That's a good one. I also liked The Bad Batch, which got a lot more dark and serious the more you go on with that series, as with the other Star Wars shows too. I know Star Wars Visions was also really cool. That's the one where they had a lot of different like anime styles to tell Star Wars stories. And that was pretty cool too. It's very interesting with that. There's only really 2 animes that I've ever watched, I guess, which are the Star Wars one and also the Les Mis one. If you didn't know, there is a Les Mis anime. It is called like The Life of Cosette or something. Let me find it. The Life of
Is it sad?
Cosette. I guess. Because it's Les Mis, but it's not as like deep and depressing as the it's Shoujo Cosette. It's not as depressing as like the book and everything. And also we have Enjolras as an anime boy, which was
Oh my
very
gosh.
needed, I think.
That's so
Because
funny.
like this man was born to be an anime boy. Okay, you look at that hair, like because Victor Hugo would not stop describing him as gorgeous 24/7, and I was like, you know what? He needed to be an anime boy. So that's the anime that I've ever watched, other than the Star Wars one. That and Ace Attorney. I've seen some of the Ace Attorney anime as well.
I am
Sorry.
waiting to, because I think from what I've been told, the anime does cover cases from the first 3 games.
Yes.
And since I've only played the
Yeah.
first 2, I'm waiting to watch it until after I've played
Yeah.
the 3rd game.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. I was like, do not watch the anime before you play the games because it's basically the same thing. But apparently they did make Turnabout Big Top 10 times better in the anime, which
Oh, that's
I
good, because that was
appreciate.
a crappy case.
That is the worst case in the game. Anyway, so those are our favorite cartoons and stuff.
Yeah.
They're good.
Also, oh, one more favorite cartoon,
Mm-hmm.
and this is one that I
Yes.
have not watched since I was young because it's not on any streaming service for reasons
Mm-hmm.
I don't understand. But it was a little hamster anime in the 90s, late 90s, early 2000s called Hamtaro, and I loved it.
You told me about this.
Yes, and I wish that it would be uploaded on like Crunchyroll or Netflix or something because I would pay money to watch it again.
Oh, I think it looks like it's on archive.org, Internet
Oh,
Archive.
okay, I'll have to look.
Yeah.
Thank you for telling me.
Yeah. Because you told me about that because I told you about my sister's hamster lore.
Yeah.
Which we will probably go into on another episode when we have Lexi here.
Yeah.
But yeah, you told me about that one and I remembered the hamster anime.
Okay, next question. Which game did you play first?
Danger on Deception Island.
Okay, mine was the original Secrets Can Kill.
Ooh,
So, game number
a
1.
classic.
And then somebody asked for our top 10 list for games,
God.
I'm assuming.
Oh god. For the Nancy Drew games or games just in general, because if we're going to games just in general, I'm going to have a very hard time. I'm also going to have a very hard time with Nancy Drew as well.
I'm
so.
assuming it's Nancy Drew.
This is going to be... Okay, let me... I need to think.
I can list mine because I already I've had a list prepped for years. But if you want me to read mine off, I can do that first.
Yes.
Okay. So this is top 10, starting with number 1 being the top. So my favorite game will be first. So Secret of Shadow Ranch, Shadow at the Water's Edge, Ghost of Thornton Hall, Labyrinth of Lies, Phantom of Venice, The Curse of Blackmore Manor, Secret of the Scarlet Hand, Trail of the Twister, The Final Scene, and Sea of Darkness.
Those are good ones.
That's my top 10.
Okay.
You don't have to read yours in any, like, order,
Okay.
I don't think. But I guess if you can just pick 10.
Okay, let me look at a list. Okay, Nancy Drew.
We have a list on
games
our,
and
we have all the abbreviations on our Google Doc, if that helps.
Oh my gosh, Sunny! I moved my computer like 1 inch, and Sunny just leaped into the air. I love cats. Okay. Secret at Shadow Ranch is definitely up there. So is Curse of Blackmore Manor. Probably also Legend of the Crystal Skull, The Phantom of Venice. Shadow at the Water's Edge, of course. I'm obsessed with that one. Ghost of Thornton Hall, Sea of Darkness. How many was that?
That was 7.
7. I got 10 more. I mean, no, what? No, 3 more. I can't
Math
count.
is hard.
I can't count. It is. Ooh. Some of these might be unpopular. Warnings at Waverly Academy. Last Train to Blue Moon Canyon. This one is probably the most controversial of my top 10, probably. If I'm remembering correctly. I don't know. I'm just feeling like I'm in a Trail of the Twister mood right now. I don't know. It's a really fun, cozy game.
Trail of Twister's in my top 10.
Wait, you did? Oh, yes, that is right. Yes, it is a fun, cozy game. I like it.
Yeah, I love
It is sweet.
tot.
It is enjoyable, and the music slaps.
I am a
Listen,
tot lover.
bluegrass. Me too. Whether it's the potatoes or the game, I love tots. You know, it's good.
Amen.
And also, listen, the music. The music. Okay, bluegrass, plains, iconic, amazing. Cannot go wrong with them.
Oh, yeah.
Anyway, so for now, those are my top 10.
Okay. Okay, next question. If you could visit any game location, which would it be and why?
Oh no! Oh, now I have to choose. Okay, you go first because I'm still debating which places.
I'm gonna pick two.
Mm.
One is Venice. I
Yeah.
have had a dream for many, many years to go to Venice. And it's because of the Phantom of Venice. That was really the game that triggered that. But, and then the second one is I really would love to spend like a week on one of the San Juan Islands. And like,
Hey!
huh?
Hey, if you ever want to do that, hit me up.
Yeah, because you're like in, you could just come
The
with
state! Yeah!
So, but I would love to like stay on one of the San Juan Islands and like ride a bike and then like go see orcas in the channel and like all that stuff.
Yeah, it's pretty cool over there. Geez, what am I? Probably Venice as well. Yeah, Venice. I'm still thinking. Because if we have to go to strictly just the game locations, then probably Skiprot. I love.
Oh, cool. Yeah, that
I
would
love
be
Sea
cool.
of Darkness. It is so beautiful there. But if you can just go to the place where the game takes place, like the country or anything, New Zealand, because I am a massive Lord of the Rings fan.
I think that totally counts as an answer.
So, so yeah. Why couldn't we have set the Shattered Medallion with the Hobbit holes? I mean, copyright, of course, obviously, but
Yeah.
like, I would have loved that.
So that was all of our submitted viewer questions that we have time for, I think. Some of them were kind of repetitive, so I cut a couple, but I have a question for you.
Oh no.
Because I know it's not Nancy related, but the point of this Q&A was to ask whatever questions you wanted. And I know that you would probably enjoy talking about this. So what are your favorite K-pop songs right now?
Okay. Let me think. At the moment, okay. I'm thinking. I have a lot. The first one to come to mind is God of Light Music by 17. Iconic.
I'm so proud of you.
Listen, my sister and I, when we go on road trips that last into the night, we will blast that song on repeat until we get home.
Somebody's gonna go look this up and not understand the context and be like, what in the world is wrong with them?
It's so funny. But like, it's an amazing song. Spectacular. Amazing. I love it. I also am eternally in love with Fancy by Twice. I am a once before I am a human being. FYI. So Fancy by Twice. Also Answer by ATs, as always.
Queen. My favorite
Obviously.
AT song as well.
Amazing. Also, 0 times 1 equals Love Song by TXT.
Okay.
My emo ballad.
Yeah.
Always Inside My Heart. I don't know why, but for some reason, Shooting Star by Kepler is also up there right now.
Okay.
Because that was a really, really, really good comeback. Yeah, that was a good one.
Those are
Trying to think.
Those are good.
Yeah, so those are top ones at the moment.
Well,
Sunny.
I think that's our episode.
No, you say your favorite K-pop songs now. Okay.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
Do you want like okay?
Yes.
I'll go with like ones that I've been playing like recently a lot. Blind by ATEEZ.
It's a good one, yeah.
Last Night by Jonghyun and Wonwoo.
Yeah, from the This Man.
Yeah, their duet album. I've also been playing My Gosh by NMIX a lot.
Yeah.
And Lovin' Me by 50/50.
That's a good one, yeah.
Oh, and Dangerous by 10. I've played that song so much over the last couple months.
Yeah. Oh my god, there's a Red Velvet one that I played a lot. I don't remember which one, because I play a lot of Red Velvet too.
Mm-hmm. Oh,
was
also,
it Cosmic? I'm not sure.
Cosmic was their last comeback, right?
Yeah, but
yeah. I've also been playing. Okay, I'm Fine from the new Day 6 album is also incredible. I've been playing that a lot.
I need to listen to that. Yeah.
So that's what I've been listening to a lot.
Yeah, music.
Mm-hmm.
We do need to have a crossover episode where you say like, which Nate your characters are definitely K-pop stans. Spoiler
and what
alert.
Their favorite.
Tex. Yeah. Tex is a K-pop stan.
And who?
I'm
and
sorry.
Who do they bias?
I don't make the rules. What?
And who do they bias in that group?
Yeah. Anyway, yeah.
Well,
what a fun episode.
That was a fun episode. Happy anniversary, Rae.
Happy anniversary, Tori.
Thanks for doing this podcast with me. It's so much fun.
Yeah, and thank you. And may we have many more Nancy Drew Yap sessions.
Yes, and thank you to everybody who listens and shares and engages with us on social medias. And we keep doing this because you guys like listening to us talk, and so we'll continue to do it.
All right. Well, thank you, everybody. Mwah. I'm blowing you guys kisses. You can't see, obviously, but I'm blowing you guys kisses.
Mwah. I blew one too. All right. Good night, everybody, or good day, or good afternoon, and we'll see you soon.
Bye.